Testimonies for the Church, Volume 5. Chapter 40, Redeeming the Time. Dear Brother J., I have arisen at 12 o'clock to write to you because my mind is burdened. I am troubled on your account, for I know that we are near the close of Earth's history, and your life record is not such a one as you will be pleased to meet in the great day when every man will receive as his works have been. You may feel that others have done wrong, and I know as well as you do that a Christ-like spirit has not been manifested in the church. But will this avail you in the judgment? Will 2 wrongs make 1 right? Though 1, 2, or 3 in the church have done wrong, this will not blot out or excuse your sin. Whatever course others may take, your work is to set your own heart in order. God has claims upon you which no circumstances should lead you to forget or neglect, for every soul is precious in His sight. My heart is drawn out after those who have stumbled on the dark mountains of unbelief, and I want to help them. There is good material in the church in blank, but the members have not been transformed by the Spirit of God and brought into a position where they can let their light shine to the world. Some, with the best of motives and possessing capabilities for great usefulness, utterly fail in times of trial in the church for want of the love and mercy that dwelt so richly in the heart of Christ. They see one in error, and instead of helping him, they hold themselves aloof. They are inclined to make unpleasant allusions and to touch sensitive spots when they might avoid them. Self comes up and bears sway, and they give pain and stir up wrong feelings. However pure their intentions, their efforts to do good nearly always result in failure, if not in actual harm, because the tenderness and compassion of Christ are wanting. They would make very good surgeons, but they are poor nurses. They have not the tact that is born of love. If they had this, they would know how to speak the right word and do the right thing at the right time and in the right place. Others may have no more sincere desires to do right, no deeper interest in the cause of God. They may be no more true and loyal, their sympathies no deeper, their love no warmer. Yet because of their gentleness and tact, they are far more successful in winning back the erring. The Lord would be pleased to have His people more considerate than they now are, more merciful and more helpful to one another. When the love of Christ is in the heart, each will be tenderly regardful of the interests of others. Brother will not take advantage of brother in business transactions. One will not charge exorbitant interest because he sees his brother in a close place where he must have help. Those who will take advantage of the necessities of another prove conclusively that they are not governed by the principles of the gospel of Christ. Their course is recorded in the books of heaven as fraud and dishonesty. And wherever these principles rule, the blessing of the Lord will not come into the heart. Such persons are receiving the impress of the great adversary rather than that of the Spirit of God. But those who shall finally inherit the heavenly kingdom must be transformed by divine grace. They must be pure in heart and life and possess symmetrical characters. I regard you, my brother, as in great peril. Your treasure is laid up on the earth, and your heart is upon your treasure. But all the means you may accumulate, even though it should be millions, will not be sufficient to pay a ransom for your soul. Then do not remain in impenitence and unbelief, and in your case, defeat the gracious purposes of God. Do not force from His reluctant hand destruction of your property or affliction of your person. How many there are who are now taking a course which must ere long lead to just such visitations of judgment. They live on day by day, week by week, year by year, for their own selfish interest. Their influence and means, accumulated through God-given skill and tact, are used upon themselves and their families without thought of their gracious benefactor. Nothing is allowed to flow back to the giver. Indeed, they come to regard life and its entrusted talents as their own, and if they render back to God that portion which He justly claims, they think that they have placed their Creator under obligation to them. At last, His patience with these unfaithful stewards is exhausted, and He brings all their selfish, worldly schemes to an abrupt termination, showing them that as they have gathered for their own glory, He can scatter, and they are helpless to resist His power. Brother J., I address you today as a prisoner of hope, but will you consider that your sun passed its meridian some time ago and is now rapidly declining? The evening has come. Do you not discern the lengthening shadows? You have but a little time left in which to work for yourself, for humanity, and for your Master. There is a special work to be done for your own soul if you are ever to be numbered with the overcomers. How stands your life record? Is Jesus pleading in your behalf in vain? Shall he be disappointed in you? Some of your companions, who stood side by side with you, have already been summoned away. Eternity will reveal whether they were bankrupt in faith and failed to secure eternal life, or whether they were rich toward God and heirs of the far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Will you not consider that the long forbearance of God toward you calls for repentance and humiliation of soul before Him? There are other weighty considerations aside from your own personal salvation which demand your attention. Late as it now is, with your sun about to sink behind the western hills, you have still a great work to do for your children who have allowed the love of the world to separate them from God. You have also unsaved relatives, neighbors, and friends. Had your example been consistent with the light given you, had you been as diligent to save these precious souls as you have been to gather earthly treasure, had you used your means and influence, your wisdom and tact, in an effort to gather these straying ones into the fold of Christ, had this been your life work, you would have secured a harvest of souls and would have ensured a rich reward in the day of God. You would thus have been building upon the true foundation, valuable and imperishable material. But instead of this, you have been building wood, hay, and stubble, to be consumed when every man's work shall be tried of what sort it is. Your life has been a failure. You have been a stumbling block to sinners. They have said of you, "If the religion which this man professes is indeed genuine, why is he so eager after this world? Why does he not in his own conduct show the Spirit of Christ? Hasten, my brother, before it is forever too late, to remove this stumbling block from the way of sinners." Can you look with pleasure upon your life, or upon the influence you have exerted? Will you now consider your ways? Will you now make efforts to come into right relations with God? I do not believe your heart is unimpressible, and I know that the loving kindness and tender mercy of God are marvelous. You have a little time of probation. Will you improve it now, while Jesus is pleading His blood before the Father? He has graciously spared your life, but it has been like the barren fig tree upon which year after year there appeared no fruit, nothing but leaves. How long will you continue to disappoint the Master? Will you compel Him to say, "Let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever"? Or, "Cut it down, why cumbereth it the ground"? Oh, wait not for the Lord to put His hand against you and scatter the property which you have accumulated. Remember that all your wealth will not give you one moment of sweet assurance and peace upon your dying bed. I earnestly urge upon you the necessity of returning to the Lord at once. I entreat you to disappoint the enemy. Break from off you his cruel power. Seek, during the remainder of your life, to make an entirely different record in heaven, one of which you will not be ashamed when the book shall be opened and the judge shall pronounce sentence upon those who have neglected this great salvation. Paul exhorts his Ephesian brethren to redeem the time because the days are evil. This exhortation is very applicable to you. In one sense, it is impossible to redeem the time, for once gone, it is gone forever. But you are called upon to reform, to be zealous of good works in the same degree that you have been negligent of duty. Turn square about, double your diligence to make your calling and election sure. Keep God's commandments and live, and His law as the apple of your eye. Tax every moment to the utmost in laboring for your own eternal interest and for the salvation of souls around you. By so doing, you may save both yourself and those who are more or less controlled by your example. These are motives which should be duly considered. Wake up! Wake up! You have work to do, and your sun is fast hastening to its setting. Your powers are becoming enfeebled, but all there is of you, every particle of your ability, belongs to God, and should be used earnestly and disinterestedly in His service. Work while the sun still lingers in the heavens, for the night cometh when no man can work. Come, my brother, come just as you are, sinful and polluted. Lay your burden of guilt on Jesus, and by faith claim His merits. Come now while mercy lingers. Come with confession. Come with contrition of soul, and God will abundantly pardon. Do not dare to slight another opportunity. Listen to the voice of mercy that now pleads with you to arise from the dead, that Christ may give you light. Every moment now seems to connect itself directly with the destinies of the unseen world. Then let not your pride and unbelief lead you to still further reject offered mercy. If you do, you will be left to lament at the last. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. Wait in deep humiliation before God. From this hour, resolve to be the Lord's, doing your whole duty, trusting implicitly in the great atonement. Do this, and you will have nothing to fear. The remainder of your life journey will be tranquil and happy, and you will secure to yourself that life which shall continue as long as God shall live. I have written this because I felt urged to do so by the Spirit of God, and because I have a deep interest for you. Do not for one moment let your feelings rise against me, for I have been influenced by love for your soul. We have enjoyed many precious seasons in worshiping God, when our hearts were made joyful by His sweet blessing. Are these seasons forever past? We may never meet again in this life, but shall we not meet when the ransomed are gathered around the great white throne?